we've officially entered hell. Hell in the form of the metaverse. If you don't know what that is, I've linked a video above right here. It is from The Guardian, so hopefully no revenue will go to the people behind the metaverse because I think it's going to fuck everything up. Now, I don't want to get sued, so this is just my personal opinion. Do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do, but what I am going to talk about is what this metaverse, laser, what it means potentially for our relationships and why it is just the death of intimacy and possibly the world. So, not to be dramatic, but let's talk about the relationship we have with each other, the relationship we have with technology, and what virtual reality could potentially do to our relationship with each other and whether or not we'd get our emotional needs met. Spoiler, we wouldn't. Before we get started, if you haven't met me before, I'm Cheryl Muir, relationship expert for women who work in film, television and fandom, helping them to find love after a lifetime of longing. I tend to work with people who are single, wanting to get into a relationship, and also women who are navigating the dating scene, as well as people who are already in a relationship and want to develop a deeper intimacy with their partner and with everyone else in their life. There's a rose here that's starting to, it looks like one of the petals is like kind of wilting slightly, so we're just gonna do that. All right, there we go. Unnecessary, maybe. So my first point of contention with this is that it's not real. It's not real, it's virtual reality. You're going to have a headset on, presumably one of those like big glasses, goggle things, and you could be anywhere in the world. You could just be sat in a box room, a little prison cell of a place, and you put on these headsets and you're somewhere else. For people who have this pattern of fantasy relationships, of pulling the plug on their reality, the escape hatch on their reality because their emotions are too painful, this is going to be like crack to them. This is going to be a portal into a completely different reality. Many people are already struggling with that. I actually talked about this recently in Wanda on Disney Plus. I know it was at the start of the year, but I did a video recently on her escaping into these fictional worlds. The video is up above if you want to watch that. This can be a way of us really, really dealing with painful emotions, you know, disappearing into a TV series, disappearing into an immersive experience. So what's that going to be like with virtual reality? It's going to be fantasy world on steroids. It's going to be the absolute worst thing for us. I also have a module on fantasy relationships in the dating drama empowerment method, which is Enrolling at the moment. And I have another video, linking all the videos today, another video on what the dating drama archetypes are, so you can dig in a little bit to what I'm talking about when I say fantasy relationships. The second thing that really concerns me about this whole metaverse situation is the relationship we have with each other. The suggestion here is that it's going to become predominantly virtual. Now, do you remember in Locky McLockdown last year, and to a lesser extent at the start of this year too, what year are we in now? 2021? It's been a hell of a 2-year period, hasn't it? When we were in Locky McLockdown, for those of you that were on your own, was that a positive experience for you? When you were meeting with people on Zoom, did you feel nourished by that? Did it meet your emotional needs fully? Or did you close your laptop and then look around and you're all alone? And did that make you want to escape into watching Netflix for 8 hours, right? This is going to be very emotionally painful for people if this is the only way we're going to connect. And it's not. We're not going to allow this to happen, right? We're not going to allow this to happen. We need to be with each other. We need to be together, eating food together, sharing laughs, hearing someone's laughter, holding someone's hand, touching our partner, making love with our partner, right? Being with our friends, singing together, dancing together, whatever you want to do, drinking together, being together. Is what we're all about as humans. We're hardwired for connection. Yes, even avoidant people. We all need connection. We're not going to be able to connect this way. And I know in the video that I linked, the Guardian video, you look at it and it's like, oh, that's kind of cool, right? But it has a very sinister undertone. We are not going to get our emotional needs met. Psychologically, we are the same as we always were back in medieval times, back in Roman times, back when we were living in the caves. We're the same. Our needs are the same. We have not evolved to the point where a screen can meet our needs. We haven't, and that's why mental health issues are through the roof, because people are emotionally malnourished, right? And I know that can sometimes sound like one of those like woo-woo terms with no like substance or meat to it. but it means your needs not getting met, right? And that brings up so many painful feelings within us. It can trigger past trauma, but it also means we're lonely, right? This is going to increase loneliness exponentially, and it's a no from me. It's an absolute no from me. The third thing I want to touch on is our relationship with technology. What this is suggesting is that it's going to become void of boundaries, that there's going to be no boundary between us and technology. How do you feel about that? Is that something that you want? Now, in the words of Elon Musk, you're already a cyborg. We already have our phones attached to us all the time. A lot of people have watches, and then there's wearable tech. The way I see it is this. Technological advancements are like a bell curve, and we've reached the top of the bell curve at the moment. The bell curve representing how it can benefit our lives. We're now on the downside of that, right? It's becoming maladaptive. This technology that was really helping us to have better lives, to do things. I mean, let's face it, let's talk about the elephant in the room. You're on a device right now. I'm connecting with you through a device right now. My business is predominantly online, though I'm doing more and more in person. So I do recognize that, of course, technology can be massively beneficial. But this suggestion that there's going to be no boundaries between us and technology, and our relationship with technology is going to be stronger than the relationship we have with each other. No, not good. Not good. And that bell curve I described, we really are on the downside of that now, where the negatives of this technology are outweighing the positives. Now, I'm not going to go down to conspiracy alley and talk about being turned into robots, but I think it's interesting that in particularly science fiction or comic book genres, we've kind of seen this played with a little bit over the years, and it seemed like something that was only in films, and now it's starting to become potentially a reality, where people had relationships with inanimate beings that were robotic, right? Wanda fell in love with Vision, who is a robot, essentially. I think it's interesting that that's been kind of teased throughout different films, and now we're in a position where the relationships we have with each other are being recommended to be purely digital. That's not going to meet our emotional needs. It's going to